Okay, let's get right into it. There's a new proposal for Social Security making the rounds, and it's kicking up some serious questions about the future of our retirement benefits, especially for the highest earners. This isn't just some minor little tweak either. It really hints at a much, much bigger conversation we need to have about the long-term health of the entire system. Now, to really get why this matters so much, we have to take a step back and remember what Social Security actually is for people. For millions and millions of Americans, it's not just some extra spending money. It is the absolute foundation of their financial stability once they retire. It truly is the cornerstone of their financial lives. So right now, if you look at the average benefit, it works out to about $24,000 a year. Now, I know that might not sound like a huge amount of money, but for most retirees, that's the cash that covers the absolute essentials. We're talking about keeping a roof over their head, putting food on the table, and paying for really crucial healthcare costs. So why is this conversation about making big changes happening right now? Well, it all boils down to a growing worry about Social Security's long-term financial health. There's a funding gap that, frankly, policymakers just can't kick down the road anymore. Here's the heart of the problem in one sentence. The system is paying out more money in benefits than it's bringing in through our payroll taxes. And with more people retiring every day and all of us living longer, that gap is only expected to get wider and wider. And this chart really just lays it all out there, doesn't it? The picture is pretty stark. That money out bar is already taller than the money in bar. The projections show that if we don't make any changes, the system could be in real trouble within the next 8 to 10 years. And you know what that could mean? Automatic benefit reductions for everyone. So, to avoid that kind of worst-case scenario, policymakers are exploring targeted solutions, changes that could help fix the system without really affecting the majority of people who depend on it. And that brings us right to the main idea we're digging into today, the proposed benefit cap. All right, so what exactly is a benefit cap? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It would be a new, hard limit on the absolute maximum amount of money any one person or couple could get from Social Security in a given year. And that's no matter how much money they paid into the system over their entire working lives. So let's put some real numbers on this thing. Under this specific plan, an individual's total benefits for the year would be capped at $50,000. And for a married couple, that combined cap would be $100,000 per year. Now, here's what's so interesting. Who would this change actually impact? Well, the proposal is specifically designed to only target the top 2% of Social Security recipients. For the other 98% of Americans, this change would have zero direct impact on their benefits. And that very specific targeting is exactly what lights the fuse on a much deeper, more philosophical debate. You see, this whole idea forces us to ask a really fundamental question about what Social Security is even for. Is it an earned benefit that should be a direct reflection of a lifetime of contributions? Or is its main job to act as a social safety net? This isn't a new debate, not by a long shot, but the money problem is forcing it into the spotlight. And here are the two sides of that argument, laid out pretty clearly. The safety net view looks back at why Social Security was created in the first place, back during the Great Depression. The argument is its core mission was always about preventing poverty among older Americans. So capping huge payouts, that fits perfectly with the original goal. But then on the other side of the coin, you have the earned benefit view. This side argues that for decades, we've all paid in with the understanding that what we get out is tied to what we put in. And critics say a cap weakens that link, that it fundamentally changes the deal. This quote really gets to the heart of the concern from critics. There's this real worry that if you start limiting benefits for high earners, you could totally change how the public sees the system, shifting it from something you've earned, a right, to something that feels a lot more like a welfare program. Okay, let's put the philosophy on the shelf for a second and just talk about the numbers. What would the actual financial impact be? Well, estimates suggest this cap could cut Social Security spending by about $190 billion over the next 10 years. So here's the bottom line. It doesn't solve the whole problem by itself, but it would definitely help buy the program a lot more time. Now, it's really important to be clear. None of these changes are happening tomorrow. This is still just a proposal being debated among lawmakers. But it's a key part of a much larger, and honestly, a more and more urgent conversation about what Social Security is going to look like in the future. And this benefit cap isn't the only idea being floated. Policymakers are looking at a whole bunch of options, and each one comes with its own really tough trade-offs. For instance, raising the full retirement age. That helps the math, but it means people in tough physical jobs might have to work even longer. adjusting the benefit formulas could mean slightly smaller checks for everyone in the future. And increasing payroll taxes? Well, that means less take-home pay for workers today and higher costs for businesses. There are no easy answers here. What seems crystal clear, though, is that just standing still and hoping for the best is not a real strategy. The imbalance between the money coming in and the money going out is real, and without some kind of change, automatic benefit cuts for everybody could be triggered down the road. Ultimately, proposals like this one are about so much more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. They force us all to really define what Social Security should be here in the 21st century. Is it a direct return on a lifetime of hard work? Or is it our collective promise to make sure everyone